And we're off to the mountains, everyone. How you doing out there? Okay, but before we get going, I'm going to talk about these in a minute. A quick thank you to Kristen and to CJ and Danielle. CJ and Danielle sent me the Bixby coffee last week. Thank you so much. We're almost out of it. It is very, very tasty. And Kristen, thank you for the heartfelt letter. Yeah, true love and I love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. And last but not least, shout out to Garage Bean and Jack. Jack sent me some more coffee. I think people are getting the hint that I love coffee, especially dark roast. And this is dark roast, Jack. I love it. I've been sipping on it all morning, so thank you so much. We're going to hit the road. And along the way, I've never done this before. I can't believe it, but on the top of Vail Pass, if you're from Colorado, like there are trails at the top of Vail Pass, a lot of hiking, but also snowmobiling routes up there for the winter time. So I'm just curious. I'm going to go exploring up there in, yes, the Brooks Catamount. All right, there they are, a brand new trail running shoe from Brooks, the lightest trail shoe in the entire Brooks lineup, okay? Brooks Catamount, there they are in some baby blue and white. They're not gonna stay white for long, I can tell you that right now, with a ballistic rock plate in there in the midsole. I'll give you my first impressions here in a little bit. Let's rock and roll, come on. Oh, Garage Bean, delicious. All right, come on. There we go. I gotta say this much. On the first impression run, not my full review, the Catamounts did not stay white for very long. We found mud real quick. All right, let me take this shoe off here. First impressions, welcome to the outdoor studio. I decided we're just gonna get it done here on the top of Vail Pass. I was gonna drive down, but we're just gonna do it here. Let me just pull this shoe off real quick. All right, there we go. Got it off the foot, nice and muddy now, just like a trail shoe should be. Okay, 6mm drop, 32mm stack height in the heel, 26 in the forefoot, all right, for that 6mm slope inside the shoe. We're looking at 8.3 ounces in women's size 8 or 235 grams. Men's size 9, we're looking at 9.5 ounces or 270 grams. And yes, I did bring the scale. It's sitting right here on top of my backpack. Hold on. 9.4 ounces in my size. We don't mess around in the outdoor studio. Okay, we're looking at an open mesh design with quite a bit of overlay happening through the toe box, some TPU overlay to help keep the mud and water out if you're crossing streams. But one nice point that they emphasized here is making sure that the shoe can still drain water. So there on the side, right above the midsole, there's some little slits in this overlay to help water drain out just in case you are doing some creek crossings in your training and or racing. Also, they have some built-in gaiter features, so if you want to add a gaiter to this shoe, you can. There's some Velcro there in the back, just in case you really need a gaiter for those harder trail runs. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, fully gusseted tongue on this upper. Love the tongue. Very, very comfortable tongue. I'm gonna say a pretty wide toe box actually. It felt wide on my first impression run, not my full review, that'll happen after 50 miles. Now, I will say, on the upper, I think they could have added one more hole at the top of the eyelet chain in order to do the runner's knot. I actually did the runner's knot on one shoe and not on the other shoe just to test it out, and I definitely felt better on the shoe that had the runner's knot. So, and if you don't know what a runner's knot, upper right hand corner, I made a vlog all about how to tie it. So I wish, Brooks, that there was one more hole right there to help with that lockdown, because I gotta say, the lockdown in the heel pocket was not amazing today, especially when I started going on some steeper terrain. So just putting it out there. I'll continue to figure out the lockdown as we move along through the 50 miles. One last point on the upper is an amazing toe cap. So this is the toe cap right at the front of the shoe there to make sure when you're out there on the trails, if you kick a rock or kick a root, it can really hurt. You know, like, who has not kicked a toe on a rock or a root if you're an avid trail runner? Like, it probably happens to me once a year, like a really bad one. And so this toe cap is stout. That is the word jumping out at me for that toe cap. Moving on to that midsole, it's a DNA flash midsole. That's what Brooks calls it, which is nitrogen infused, okay? And a lot of people are comparing this Catamount to the road brother or sister, the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. I'll come back to that in a minute, but it is DNA flash midsole, nitrogen infused, reminiscent, reminding me of Skechers, okay? If you like the Skechers midsole, now I would say Skechers is gonna be a little on the softer side thus far. So anyway, and I'll come back to the ride in a second through that DNA flash midsole. And onto that outsole, the bottom of the shoe. So Brooks has added this between the outsole and the midsole, this ballistic rock shield. And actually on the dirt road I was on today, I did step on one rock that was a little sharper, didn't mean to, and it did pretty well, that rock shield. I felt the rock, but it didn't hurt at all, but I definitely felt it. So good work there. The ballistic rock shield, I'm glad it is in there. And the lugs, let's talk about the lugs. Very interesting design and pattern to the lugs, only coming in at 3 millimeters, okay? So that begs the question, is this Brooks Catamount going to be vying for more attention in the commuter shoe category, meaning when you commute from pavement to dirt, okay? And that's what I did today. I started on pavement and eventually ended up on some dirt trails and dirt roads. So only 3 millimeter, which is not very aggressive for that outsole lug pattern. Also, it's called the Trail Tack rubber on the bottom. I can tell this Trail Tack rubber is gonna be incredibly resilient. Like, it just like to the feel, to the touch. I'm gonna say 500 plus miles, and there it is in kilometers on your screen for my durability prediction for this Brooks Catamount. I think this shoe is absolutely gonna go the distance. And let me just do the thumb test. Okay, here's where I'm at. I was not blown away, and we'll get into the comfort right now as well as the fit. As far as the comfort goes of the upper, not screaming comfortable through the upper yet, and not incredibly plush through the heel collar and the heel counter, so the back of the shoe that wraps around your ankle, okay? And that's, that's okay. I'm not saying it's a horrible thing, but I'm not feeling a lot of comfort yet. The tongue was comfortable, I will give it that much. Now, as far as the comfort of the ride was a little firm, and just giving you the thumb test, I think this shoe, also known as the durometer test, I think this shoe is going to open up after 20 to 30 miles. I think this shoe needs a little break-in time is what I'm getting at. A lot of shoes these days, right out of the box, don't need break-in time. I'm sensing that this shoe's, the midsole especially, is gonna soften up a little bit as you put in more and more miles. That's what I'm hoping for, because frankly today, the comfort of the ride, it was a little firm. And maybe in the trail running shoe matrix late 2020, maybe the Catamount is gonna fall into the firm, yes, I'm gonna say, this is my positive for the shoe, firm, responsive ride. It was responsive today in a very, very good way. So how will I be using this shoe moving forward? I'm gonna say, 8 to 13, maybe 15 mile middle distance runs on the trails that I wanna go a little more up tempo. So later in a training block, when I'm getting ready for let's say a 50K race or a marathon trail race, or probably not a half marathon, but that type of run where, and undulating hills, kind of like what I did today, rather than, let's say, straight up a mountain or straight up a 14er, just because that lug pattern on the bottom is not incredibly aggressive at all, just 3 millimeter lug depth, okay? So that's how I'll be using this shoe moving forward. And if you like a shoe, who is the shoe best for? If you like a shoe that feels responsive and has a rock plate, because not all trail running shoes have rock plates, all right? Keep that in mind as you're out there searching the running shoe marketplace. Let's move on to that price point here. Did I give you my positive and drop? Positive is the responsiveness. It felt very responsive. Drawback is that I didn't feel incredibly locked down yet in the heel. And again, I wish there was maybe one more hole in the eyelet chain Brooks to do the runner's knot just to help lock that shoe down. So that is my drawback. Price point, $160. Woo! That's getting up there. That's getting up there. I'm gonna say that's a little high, but again, if it goes past 500 miles, that might make the shoe more worth it. And okay, I will say this much. This shoe could probably knock out racing. Now, it's a little heavy, a little on the heavier side for racing, just a little bit. But I think this shoe could knock out some good trail running, some really good trail training, I should say, but also racing. So if you only want to buy one shoe, honestly, kind of like the Hoka Evo Speedgoat, like that Speedgoat can do racing and training, all right? So that's where this shoe is falling for me as far as that $160 price point. A little high. I'd be a lot more excited at $150, and I'd say it'd be an amazing price at $140, okay? But again, who knows? Maybe it's gonna go the distance, 500, 600, maybe even 700 miles to get that full benefit out of that midsole. Sound good, everyone? Brand new trail shoe from Brooks, the Brooks Catamount. Not a bit, you can pre-order right now. I do believe it's linked down below, but they're not shipping. I don't think they're shipping yet until early August, all right, which is just around the corner. All right, we're signing off from the outdoor studio. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, the vlog publishes tomorrow morning on time. Where I'm headed is Silverton, Colorado, and I honestly just don't know what the internet situation. Sometimes you go to these small mountain towns and it's really difficult to upload videos, just so you know. So bear with me. Hopefully the vlog uploads in time tomorrow morning for all of you. All right, we're gonna talk, thanks for being here. We're gonna toss it back to the last Brooks. Oh, question of the day. What is your favorite Brooks shoe right now? Road or trail, and why? That's the question of the day. What is your favorite Brooks road or trail shoe right now, and why? All right, and we're gonna link to the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. Will be right there. That's the last Brooks shoe to work its way into the rotation, which I'm just excited that Brooks is working into the shoe rotation more so in 2020. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.